Intel Core said that in order to change the world, all we need to do is tweak the source code. Well, in the next 15 minutes, I'll show you how. Welcome to Python Coding. My name is Philly Andre, and this is tutorial number 2 of Python Coding for Beginners. Now, if coding is the key to developing new worlds, then operators are going to be the tools that will allow you to bring life to those new worlds. In this tutorial, we're going to focus on the 7 major categories of operators within Python, namely assignment, arithmetic, comparison, logical, membership, identity, and bitwise. Think of a house made almost completely of bricks. If the bricks are the variables, then the operators are going to be the cement that binds those bricks together, giving them purpose. As you'll learn by the end of this tutorial, operators will allow you to implement conditional logic into your code, thus bringing new life to your program. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button below and leave a comment just letting us know that you're ready to change the world. With that being said, let's get to it. So chances are you would have come across at least a few of these operators at one point or another. You would have used them for addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Now, we're also going to be talking about the double asterisk, the double backslash, and something called the modulus. Let's take a look. Okay, so in our last video, we talked about variables and how we can assign them using the equal sign. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign the value 5 to the variable x, and we're going to assign the value 2 to the variable y. Alright, now since we're doing addition operators and whatnot, we can go x plus y and that'll give us 7. We can say x minus y, we can say x times y, and we can say x divided by y. Alright, now notice that when we divide, we get a decimal point. This is called a float. Alright, 2.5 is a float. Now, if I was to say x double backslash y, what this is going to do is do the exact same thing. It's going to divide x by y, but it'll remove everything from the decimal point onward. Alright, so we can also say x exponential y. What this is going to do is raise x to the power of y, alright, and give us 25. Now, the next thing we have is something called a modulo, which is basically the percent sign. So if I say x mod y, what that's going to do is divide x by y and simply give us the remainder, which is 1. Okay. Now, since we know that the equal sign is is an assignment operator, what we can do here is we can say x is equal to x plus 2, which will give us 7. Now, by the same token, we can say x plus equals 2, and that'll give us 9. All right. Now, same way that we did this, we can say x minus equals 2. We can say x times equals 2. We can also say x divided equal 2. Alright, it's pretty much limitless. Cool. Okay, so in the last video we talked about apples and oranges. You may remember we used this double equal sign like this. Alright, so basically what this is a comparison operator. Comparison operators are going to return either a true or a false variable. Alright, now depending on whether or not you receive a true or false, you can use this logic to take your programs in whatever direction that you want them to do. So you can make a simple rock, paper, scissors game. If I get rock and you get paper, rock doesn't equal paper, so it's going to do something. Alright, with this kind of logic, you can do all kinds of stuff. So let's first assign the value of 3 to A, and we'll give B the value of 2, and we'll give C the value of 4. Okay. Now the first one we're going to cover is, actually let's make D the same value as A, so we don't have to keep changing it. So D equals 3. Alright, so the first one we have is this double equal sign. Basically what it's saying is, hey, is A equal to D? Alright, is A the same value and type of character as D? We get it true. Now what if I was to make, let's use one more. Let's say, what if I made E equal to the string 3? Now by putting it in double quotation marks, we make it a string. Alright, now it looks like a 3, but if I was to say, hey, does D equal E? We get false because it's not an integer. Alright, Now let's look at this next one. We're gonna say A bang bang. Oh, sorry, bang bang B. What this is saying is, hey, is A not equal to B? Okay, you get true because A is 3, B is 2. Next one, we can say, hey, is C greater than D? Oh, sorry, is C? Oh, jeez, can't type. C greater than D? True. All right, now is C less than B? You get a false. We can also say is A greater than or equal to B? Get a true. And then we can say is D less than or equal to C? We get true. There you have it. Those are your basic comparison operators. Okay, so let's talk about logical operators. Now, logical operators are just another way to compare your values. Okay, so there are 3 logical operators. You have AND, OR, and NOT. Okay, now a good way to understand these logical operators is to think of sitting and standing. Okay, so you're either sitting or you're standing. All right, you can't sit and stand at the same time. All right, now if you have standing and standing, you can be standing at the same time, but you can't be standing and sitting. All right, so think of that. If you think of that premise in your mind, and you'll be able to understand this. So what we'll do is we'll say that A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 3. Okay, now A can be less than or equal to 6, and B can be greater than or equal to 2. All right, those are both true, so we get it true. Now A cannot be less than or equal to 4, and B cannot be greater than or equal to 2. All right, now B is true, but A is false. Since we said AND, meaning they both have to be true, we get false. Now if I was to say OR in this case, so I need A to either be less than or equal to 4, or I need B to be greater than or equal to 2, and we get true. Now with this AND and OR, so with AND they both have to be true, and with OR at least one of them has to be true. Okay, now let's make A the Boolean true. Okay, so A is true. Now if I was to say not A, basically what I'm saying is not true, which is also false. So what not does is it negates the value. It negates the value of an output, making it the opposite, if that makes sense. It's usually used with making something true or making something false. Okay, so if I say not A, then we get false. Okay, and there you have it. We have 3 logical operators. Okay, so we have identity and membership operators. Let's start with identity. We've already covered the comparison operators like this double equal sign, right? So basically this is saying, hey, is this value the same type and value as this one? All right, so in our case we'll use A is equal to 3 and B is equal to 3. Okay, so if I said A is B, I'm pretty much asking the same thing. Is A double equal to B? Okay, I get true. Now I can also say, let's say that B was 4. Alright, I can say A is not B. So, hey, is A not the same as B? Same thing, will be true. Okay, that's just another way of saying it. Real simple, so let's move right into membership operators. Now, membership operators are a bit more complicated. We haven't talked too much about lists, but I'll give you a quick example. So let's say I'll just call this team. Okay, team consists of Jack, Jill, and we'll say Mary. Gotta have like a random name in there. Okay, so this is our team. Now, if I want to see if Jill was on my team, right? So let's say I would say Jill and team. What I'm basically asking is Jill in my list in my team? I'll get it true. But if what I say is Dre in my team, I get false. Okay, now I can also say not in, where I can say Dre not in team, it'll be true. Okay. Now in future tutorials, I'll be covering a lot more about. We'll talk more about lists, tuples, the whole 9 yards. So don't even worry about it if you don't understand this. All right.
Alright guys, that's going to cover it for this tutorial. Now we haven't talked about bitwise operators specifically because it's going to take us into the realm of the different numbering systems, namely the hexadecimal system, the octa system, and the base 2 system. Now since those topics are a bit more advanced for this tutorial, what I'm going to do is create a separate video dedicated specifically to those numbering systems and bitwise operators. So with that being said, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.